Hey kids, it's Mr. Little. Today I'm going to provide you with Week 4 Tides Pre-AP Quiz oral recording. So as always, we're going to open up the quiz. We're going to input our name, our first and our last name, and then we're going to go ahead and put in our class period. And then it looks like the quiz has 12 questions. Make sure you've gone through the check for understanding. Make sure you've gone through all the other resources. Make sure you've gotten everything else taken care of before you're attempting the quiz. And again, I want to make sure everybody knows that you need a 70 or higher to be able to receive credit for the quiz. If you're unsuccessful with that, make sure you go back through the resources, and then you can go ahead and reattempt to try to earn that credit. Okay, 12 questions. Number 1. Which statement best describes two factors that have the greatest influence on ocean tides? Earth rotates on its axis once each day, and the gravity of the moon. Earth rotates on its axis once each year, and the gravity of the moon. Earth revolves around the sun once each year, and the gravity of the earth. And Earth revolves around the sun once each day, and the gravity of the sun. Next question. Approximately how many hours are between the high tide on Tuesday, which is right here, and the first high tide on Wednesday? Go ahead and put in your answer. I'm only looking for numbers. You don't need to include anything like a unit, just the number. Otherwise, it may count it incorrectly. Okay, next question. Which position or positions in the diagram represent the occurrence of a neap tide on Earth? Would it be at position A, which would be right about here? Position B, it's already given to you right there. Positions A and C, or positions B and D? Where would I get a neap tide on Earth? Okay, next question. Now we're looking at which two positions will Earth experience the largest difference between the high and low tides. So in other words, where am I going to get a spring tide? Is that going to be at positions A and B? Positions D and C? Positions A and C? Or positions B and D? Next question. Different relative positions of the sun, the moon, and the earth have different effects on Earth's oceans. Which model shows the position of the sun, the moon, and the earth that have the greatest effect on ocean tides? Would it be at Model F, Model G, Model H, or Model J? Where will I see the greatest effect on ocean tides? Okay, next question. The diagram below shows a polar projection looking down on the North Pole of Earth and the four possible positions of the moon. Which positions of the moon produce spring tides in Earth's oceans? Am I going to see spring tides at positions 1 and 2, positions 2 and 4, positions 1 and 3, or positions 3 and 4? Next question. Same image. The diagram below shows the polar projection, so you're looking down on the North Pole again, and the four possible positions of the moon. At which positions will Earth experience the smallest difference between the high and low tides? In other words, where am I going to find my neap tides? Is it going to be at position 1 and 2, positions 2 and 4, positions 1 and 3, or positions 3 and 4? Where am I going to see a neap tide? Okay, next question. These pictures were taken at the same location but 6 hours apart. Which statement describes factors that are all responsible for the changes in the two pictures below? So you're going to choose all that apply in this particular scenario. Is it because Earth rotates on its axis once each day? Earth rotates on its axis once each year? Earth revolves around the sun once each year? Earth revolves around the sun once each day? The gravity of the moon? The gravity of the sun? Or the gravity of the earth? Remember, choose all that apply. Next question. Which two positions bring higher than normal high tides? Is it going to be at positions 1 and position 2, position 1 and position 3, position 2 and position 3, or position 2 and position 4? Where will I get higher than normal high tides. A high tide occurs on Saturday at 4 p.m. When should the next high tide be expected? 24 hours later, 9 p.m. on Saturday, 4 a.m. on Sunday, or 6 hours later? Look at the tidal graph below. A large ship needs to navigate through a normally shallow water port. What would be the best time for this ship to navigate through this water for the best results? During low tide, a little after 4 a.m., which is right about here. Somewhere between 2 and 4 p.m., which would be between here and here. Somewhere after 9 a.m., which would be about right here, but before 12 o'clock noon. The ship would navigate through the waterway at low tide, or a different answer. What would be the best time for the ship to navigate through this waterway for the best results? Next question. What was the tidal difference from high tide to high tide in meters according to the table below? Remember, only use digits, don't use any units. Once you've gone and selected your answer, make sure you go ahead and click Submit. Again, if your score is less than a 70, make sure you go back through the resources and reattempt. Otherwise, you are finished with your pre-AP quiz over tides. This concludes Week 4 Tides Pre-AP Quiz Oral Recording.